I lost my cool over Elektra last week, but now that I've had some time to settle down, even if Elektra means the most to me, Gambit's entrance is actually the most badass. The score really steps up from Elektra's heroic motif in Blade's... Is that a cougar? He also gets 3 shots to play with the cards, the first being by far the coolest. And just look at this man. Look at his face and his hair in that suit. Goodness, it's almost like Sean, Ryan, and Channing are rubbing it in our faces. This is what you could have had. But also, Blade's swagger, what an amazing entrance for all of them.
You are Wonder...
Elektra.
Elektra, yes, who could forget?
You clearly did not watch part 1 of this video, Wade. This absolute disrespect will not be tolerated. Jenna Rink is a queen, and hot dang, just realized that she's in the same universe with Matt, who is a big green cutie now.
I don't like you.
You never did.
It's not many actors that get to make meta jokes about their contentious relationship from 20 years ago. For the record, Snipes has said there was never any bad blood, and I do not believe him.
They call me the Gambit.
Do they? Are you sure you didn't just really want them to, but it never quite worked out?
We all did, Wade. We all did. Not much really phases Logan anyway, but in all likelihood, he knows a Gambit, so this is barely surprising to him. We're the only universe to squander such a beautiful face, no offense to Timmy Riggins. Look at the little flash in Gambit's eyes before he throws the card.
Boo, boo, boo.
Also, the subtitles say boo, 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 and Anyway, I love the continuity of Logan's suit from their fight. They mostly seem to keep the injuries to their suits from their fights. You can see 3 puncture marks all over Deadpool's chest plate, and at the end of the Odyssey fight, Logan's sleeves are all mangled, so he just rips them off, which hilariously allows us to fully ogle his biceps.
It's like Pinocchio jammed his face in my ass and started lying like crazy.
Fun fact, the only joke Disney made Ryan and Sean remove was the original version of this that included Mickey Mouse with some vivid imagery.
Ooh, you nasty, mon beauté rouge. Les éléments temps relais, hein?
Not a single word.
That was My Little Red, Let the Good Times Roll, huh? Which, flirting? I think he's flirting.
Charge the playing cards. Make them go boom.
Your power is close-up magic. That's good. We're not totally at all.
And this is what some people reduce Gambit to. But there's an Omega-level Gambit from an alternate timeline called New Sun who destroyed the Phoenix Force, which is not nothing. And while we don't know which version of Gambit this is, I think anyone who watched X-Men 97 will agree with me when I say Wade needs to keep Gambit's name out. Well, actually, let's have Will say it himself.
Out of your mouth. How did you all get stuck in the void?
Maybe I was born here. It's hard to know for sure.
Oh man, Gambit's first real acknowledgement that he doesn't belong anywhere since he was just a fever dream trapped in development hell.
The Daredevil.
Daredevil, I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Okay.
That divorce joke, however, is right on target.
It was just a flesh wound. He may have survived.
Because she took his flesh. Oh, that's pretty good.
Cassandra melted a helmet after she killed him.
It's because it's the second time that he gets his hopes up about Magneto that really gets me.
When that lid ain't coming off without that dome gonna come off with
I'm
it.
so sorry, beautiful. I want this to be gentle. Who is your dialect coach? The Minions? I feel like we are missing critical exposition here.
It's true, I had no idea in theaters. Way to really own the joke.
The heroes we were.
Lives we saved.
Or wanted to save.
Poor Gambit can't let it go. And look, jokes aside, Ryan did for Channing and Gambit what, well, Ryan did for Deadpool. Forced the people with the money to see that it works and it rocks. Is there anything more wholesome than putting your buddy in your movie to get him his own movie?
An ending.
Legacy.
Yes! Big slow motion fight, sad music, everybody working together. Who knows if you live or die, that sort of thing.
It never ceases to amaze me how both everyone in a Deadpool movie accepts their reality for what it is, and at the same time, Deadpool always interprets it as the movie that it really is. Both work and both are believable. They ignore his fourth wall stuff because he sounds insane and otherwise acts insane. There's always the sense that even if we weren't watching, Deadpool would still be like this. Ah, Blade did his Blade thing. It's wrong sword, but hey, TVA must have grabbed him quick.
Yeah, he was laying them buttery nuts all up in my mama, and I shot out there and I said, "What's up, Doc?"
Gambit being secretly filthy might be the funniest twist in the film.
Told him they all look ridiculous. I couldn't have him thinking I wanted to be there. Let me say it. I need to say it. By the time I stumbled home face from the bar, it was too late. They were dead, This suit's all I got to remind me of who they were.
And now I'm crying. The fact that he wears it under his clothes, almost as penance, really helps nail his reasoning. It's a real emotional response to his failure and the trauma it caused that makes sense for everything we know about Logan.
Hey, whoever you think I am, you got the wrong guy.
You were always the wrong guy.
And dang it, that is so true, and it makes perfect sense that Laura would trust Logan to make the right choice because he has before.
Ain't gonna be easy. I'm just making stuff up at this. Yeah, tilt up to Blade.
His favorite fourth wall break in the entire movie. I just about lost it in the theater. He's so exasperated he started giving the camera operator instructions.
Punishers, 84.
Which Punisher? There's been like 5 of them.
Officially, there's been 4 live-action Dolph, Thomas, Ray, and John, but with animated films and even fan films, there's been more than 5, so Wade's point stands.
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade.
Blade would say that. Snipes might even think it, but I'd like to think that this is just a jab at Marvel for constantly shelving the movie, especially considering that they have Mahershala Ali signed on. Figure it out! The indents of fists and claws and fists with claws from their earlier hate-making session. Sorry, did I make it weird? Here, their clashing of swords that ended with Wade strapped to... Look, it was a fight. They went toe-to-toe and blow for blow. Jeez. It was a savage battle of the wills with jabs and thrusts, some light choking, bodily fluids covering everything, screams of fervent domination until they were both completely drained and passed out. What could possibly be confusing about that? I do really like the Kung Fu hustle dents, though. I love small details like Azazel's tail moving back and forth behind his head. Hell yeah, now that's an entrance. This film makes important moments hilarious and hilarious moments feel important. It's a big deal Logan came along, but he was curled up in the trunk of the minivan? Only Logan could make stepping out of the trunk look badass. Aw, it's the glasses she stole from the rest stop gas station before nearly murdering that guy. What a hero shot, and I love that Wade and Logan are in the back. What a team, we need to name this team. The Slash Pack, Edge Alliance, Savage League of Crimson Carvers. Help me out here. Best name in the comments gets, I don't know, Deadpool and Wolverine Blu-ray or 4K, whatever you want. And go. Even though there aren't a ton of breakout medium-wide scenes, I like that Logan's fighting Lady Deathstrike again, and Wade is casually deflecting bullets with his katanas before stabbing a dude. 13-year-old me is living his best life. And obviously no Morbius or Dracula or... Dang, Bloodstorm made it into this movie, but Azazel is about as close to the vibe of a vampire as you could get for Blade to fight. Honestly, the mere fact that Blade knows about Laura's healing factor and hasn't tried to kill her is character growth. Or I guess maybe he did try. Huh. You know Channing did so much of this because if you got Magic Mike, you make Magic Mike move. And while I hope and pray that he finally gets his standalone movie, this all rocks. One more time for the record, Taylor Kitsch's portrayal of the Raging Cajun was great too, but the costume, the accent, the hair, they nailed Gambit so hard, I fully expect to see him flirt with some version of Deadpool in the future.
Some motherfucker's still trying to ice skate uphill.
Still no idea what he's talking about. I'll allow it. Cassandra's face here is perfect. Oh, you're trying so hard. Cute. Hey, Blade still has his glaive. Jeez, man, I'm not sure Toad deserved all that. Brutal. Can't believe Wade missed Gambit's superhero landing. The best fight in the Thomas Jane Punisher movie was against the Russian, and honestly, he still had more coming, so this is fair. Speaking of brutal, dang, brutal.
Deadpools are a dime a dozen here in the void.
Right, because everybody across the multiverse hates Deadpool. Rough. Also, Deadpool foreshadowing.
I started killing, and I couldn't stop.
It's not just the bad ones. I turned the whole world against the X-Men.
I appreciate that the specifics here are still nebulous, but the gist is pretty gnarly and finally explains why he's the worst Logan. And the fact that it destroys him the way that it does shows that Laura's Logan is still in there somewhere. Plus, Wade predicted this.
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go f yourself.
I can silence all those voices.
Cutting the sound so we just get Logan's breath?
I've got you.
I got you.
What's so genius about this move is that just like Rick at Shoney's, Logan used his actual trauma to pull Nova in. He wasn't faking any of that, and I think he even gets a sliver of healing out of it. Genius and diabolical. Men will allow pseudo-psychoanalysis from a bloodthirsty genocidal telepath while secretly tricking them into a trap so he can escape development hell with his new bestie instead of going to the therapist. Actually, no, I think this counts.
I'm going to boil your brains on an atomic level whilst flicking my bean to the Enya box set.
There's an Enya box set.
There's actually been 3, but the most recent came out in 2002, so let's get moving, Enya.
I have spent my entire existence.
Not everyone gets a speech.
Now Logan is really softly knocking at the fourth wall.
He would not let me stand here and watch you die.
If he knew where you were, he would have torn a hole in the universe to bring you home.
Xavier is still having a positive impact across time, space, dimensions, even studios. And yes, you're correctly picturing Sir Patrick Stewart. Love the physical waves of her power around her face as she's trying to break out of the helmet's block. You can see it expand once it's off her head.
An amateur magician rolled through here a while back.
The shade! To be fair, probably before he became Sorcerer Supreme in his universe. Apparently Feige and the other higher-ups call it that now. Here it is. Wade said it was coming. Nay, he promised us slow motion fights, sad music, and not knowing who would live or die.
Summer's day.
Thank goodness Laura got one of her epic roars in.
But I'll be seeing.
See what I mean? Every time Deadpool takes it serious, I think, surely this time it just won't work. And then the emotion of the moment hits me. The A+ needle drop isn't hurting.
No, you drooling boob. No. We have company. Cancel the safety checks.
Safety checks for an unexistence machine do seem rather inessential.
You're too late. Done. Why was Thor crying?
I know you thought I skipped it in part 1, but this is the moment that makes it fully land. After escaping the void and certain death, that's his first question.
With Thor, he holds me.
Awesome yet gruesome death. Grossum. And it's a small thing, but she promised she wouldn't finger him, and then she did it anyway.
You don't have to stick your fingers in me. Just ask sometimes.
Fine. Hands in pockets.
I get that it's sort of moot when she immediately kills him, but this is the difference between Cassandra and Wade. Did Wade murder all of the TVA agents? Of course, but he kept his word.
I'm not gonna give you my weapons, but I promise not to use them.
Well, until this guy besmirched Canada. But the visual effects when she's inside Paradox are next level. I love and hate that she keeps coming through orifices, but even the new holes, or just her making his eye bulge, look so terribly realistic. Side note, I think there was a concerted effort to not make Wolverine look too weak. It's a different vibe with Deadpool's mask on anyway, but getting ripped in half or slaughtered over and over is also his thing. Wolverine still looks badass when he's getting mind-listed. But also, Cassandra was trying to recruit him, so there'd be no reason to embarrass him the way she is Paradox. And that seems awful, but looks awesome. Awesome. Love it. We all have our crosses to bear. Zoolander can't turn left. Rob Liefeld famously can't draw feet.
I can gently tap the fourth wall, too. The proposal. The f was that? Bitch, you think that's what I do?
Another genuine LOL moment for me. He's so sincere and yet mocking the entire joke structure of the movie at the same time. Baby Pool's permanent scowl, and then he sits down crisscross applesauce for the wide shot. And is that a Cupid pool, a Santa pool, and a King pool? And another Wrexham AFC star showing up as Welsh pool, Paul Mullen.
With you! When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth!
Blake and Ryan's child Inez cracking me up. Also Kid Pool's hoodie with blood spray in the print's eyes and tape on his suka like it's a hockey stick. The details.
Just been miss after miss after miss.
Even Nice Pool's giving a thumbs down.
I think it's been steadily great since Endgame.
The multiverse is over.
Inside the suit is stuntwoman Christiane Bettridge, but the voice is the actual Lady Pool, Blake Lively.
How long does it take for you to regenerate?
Regenerate?
The reveal and the pause from Wade. Also, one of my favorite comments on part 1 was from Cloned Gamer that there's a hint that he has no healing factor in how armored his suit is.
They sell portable triage units.
They don't.
I'm gonna get you to safety.
He's not.
Logan's timing. Sometimes need to be reminded that Hugh Jackman is also hilarious.
Hey, why are we stopping?
Nice Pool being polite right to his last moments.
Hold your fire! Sweet little puppy.
Logan stare down as he walks over. He already knows what Nathan Fillion's head pool reminds us of. The Deadpools would never hurt Mary Poppins.
But he died a hero.
He died for murder, you dumb fuck.
This really is the Wolverine we've always wanted. Just imagine what he really wanted to say to Scott all those years.
And all I have to remember him by are these two gold-plated 50 caliber Desert Eagle pistoleros.
Least fake subtle murder of all time. Wade has been planning this from the second he met Dogpool and saw those pistoleros.
Can I have them? Over my dead body. You're fun. Yes, child. If you ever want to give her up, or if something should happen to you, I'd love to be her papa. What would ever happen to me? Lots of stuff. Tremble not, sweet Mary Poppins. I'll handle him.
And I think Dogpool clearly chose Wade. This is the second of 3 times she runs to him, but he still needed those Desert Eagles since Logan sliced his in half earlier. Also, it's some grade A, pure, uncut Colombian Deadpool that he went through all that, admittedly mostly for Dogpool, but then immediately tosses the pistols when they're empty. I don't think I'm alone in saying that they could have just released this team-up walkout as the entire movie and I still would have been there opening night and been totally happy paying full price. Oops, double. I meant I would pay double. I remember thinking, wait, they're not gonna, he's had the mask the whole time? And since you definitely thought, I literally don't even care where that cowl came from, I'm just so happy he's wearing it. It seems to have a built-in pocket on his back. At first I thought the ears were these trap pads and it was lying flat, but they're blue and there's definitely a gap there on his back.
You save the good stuff for special occasions?
Killing mostly.
Holy cow, that line delivery with what can only be described as a bloodthirsty smile.
Maximum effort.
There he is. we're running out of gaps between clips here, friends, because this stupid movie can't go 12 gold earned frames without giving us something epic. It's epic. Just like a breath, you know I'll take you there. And holy crap, I haven't even mentioned Like a Prayer yet. The needle drop. Fun fact, they had to talk through this scene with Madonna to get her approval, and yeah, obviously that's why she greenlit it. A giant 1 minute and 43-second long tracking shot with 2 distinct sections and some of the most epic choreography and violence you'd ever want from a movie with Deadpool and Wolverine in the title. Resourcefulness, using Deadpool as a weapon, is genius. The main thought I had in theaters was, OMG, I can't wait to watch this one or again because there's no possible way to pay attention to everything happening. And I was 100% correct because the first few seconds of the fight were all entirely focused on the Wolverine in his full getup slicing his way through the foreground. But Wade's first move is this. Also just extreme teamwork, finishing or assisting each other's kills. Where's she going? And the pure epicness of this slightly augmented version of Like a Prayer that cut out as everyone left frame, now working in unison with Wade and Logan, fighting them all back into frame with, is this a ruck or a scrum, since it's kind of like where we're starting play? It's a borderline spiritual experience. He drew the pistol from the other Deadpool's hip with his katana and then shot him in the head with one fluid movement. And now we enter the bus section that's filled with insanity. Bus driver Pool is terrified, probably went in there to hide along with Cower Pool with his head in his hands, as well as Cowboy Pool using other pools as shields and trying to escape off the roof. Side note, I don't think Cowboy Pool knew he was voiced by Matthew McConaughey because Rust Cole would have gone down with honor.
Sandy gonna destroy the out of every timeline.
But actually, that's exactly what the bus is. This one ends himself, and after unloading the Uzis, this one is very distraught. Also, Stan Lee with one more cameo. I mean, no notes. Logan looks ripped right from the page. What a closing to the epicosity. And really, I would have been disappointed if Deadpool had landed it.
Come on! Yeah, I blew it.
Also, Logan says he doesn't like guns, but he can still use them. He's just gonna toss them immediately. Blake and Ryan's other child, Olin, presumably voice only. Sheesh, I really jumped the gun on Copus Quantity. Peter is packing some serious stuff. A lot of good stuff. Good for you, Peter. Baby arms. Also correct, Rob Delaney is a precious gift to this world. The design of this movie rules, and this is all practical.
Home stretch, folks, promise.
Honestly, as a working papa who doesn't get a whole lot of sleep, I appreciate the heads up.
Even if you lived long enough to make the circuit, you will die down there.
Good guy Paradox telling the truth. Although I guess that was always his fatal flaw.
You didn't lie. You made an educated wish.
The sweetest of callbacks, like it was a serious point of contention and Logan is basically saying he respects why Wade did it.
You got a whole world to go back to. I got nothing. I got nothing.
I like that this is a totally believable and acceptable ending for Logan 2.0, even if it still stings to think we're about to lose another one.
I waited a long time for this team up.
Aw, that's Ryan saying that to Hugh. But of course, Wade wouldn't let it end without a little expectation subversion. I mean, there's always time for Ryan's improvised jokes.
I'm not doing it because I need it. I'm doing it because they do.
And now he's truly an Avenger, bringing it right back to Happy's advice. So much happens in this single moment. The Wolverine finally got to show up for his friend and grabs his hand. Logan closes the circuit by extending his claws and bringing back Madonna, but with a choral arrangement. I love every bit of it. Honestly, Like a Prayer is forever altered for me. It's literally a song about powerful fellatio that some churches have been using recently because it contains the word prayer, and this is still where my mind will go from now on when I hear it. This, and also obviously this. Also the shirt explosion. Wade eagerly agrees, Hugh Jackman's workout routine. Also, does the catwalk sort of make an X? I think it does.
You were always the wrong guy. Till you weren't.
Wow, 2 reveals in one moment, both that Logan was the one to pick up Wade's picture after their Honda fight and that the rest of Laura's sentence cemented it as encouragement of who he could be.
For the first time in my life, I'm proud to wear this suit. It means I'm an X-Man. I am the X-Man.
And even another reveal, this time that Logan embraced Wade's words from the diner that he's the X-Man. I really feel for whoever gets the claws next because, oh boy, that is a tough cowl to fill. I never expect Deadpool movies to hit me in the heart the way they do, and then they do, and I remember that this is what they do. You know?
My men. My friends.
Well played, Wamsgans. Bro is always a step ahead.
He has risen, baby girl.
Until he isn't. Once again, perfect comedic timing from everyone involved.
And I don't want the world to see me.
Goodness gracious, I know this is a callback and a funny scene all on its own, and an emotional and triumphant moment as well, but what in the hell, Hugh? He's an actual beast.
What the f is happening here?
Fair question though. Appropriate reaction.
And you are?
Peter Poole. But you can call me Peter. And I hope that you do.
I'm pretty sure Peter is Marvel Jesus, because this is twice now that he saved you.
And you look damn good in that suit.
I'm so sorry.
He does, and that's how you accept compliments, right? By apologizing?
Your work is only just getting started.
Till you're 90.
Honestly, probably.
So I'll probably see you around?
Probably not.
Can't blame him. Deadpool is a handful, and also because Hugh's 56. But did you see this? You're not selling us on being done anytime soon, Logue.
I'm all out of devil's dandruff.
Gotta love that they got one more Frisky Dusk joke in there just for Feige.
Give me the dog. Talk to the girl.
Of course, a dude with these on his head is gonna be a great wingman. All right, last wholesome winning, but Ryan made a movie and invited two friends with a bunch of history from their own movie who probably don't have a lot of excuses to catch up and gave them scenes together. Hell yeah, Ryan. Good guy, Ryan.
Did it for you.
There's more to it than that, and Wade would even agree, but you're not gonna hear me complaining about it coming back to Vanessa. It's always been about her. Absolutely perfect shot to close on. OMG, he was a baby. They both were. It hadn't really hit me in theaters until this moment that this truly is the end of the Fox Marvel universe. I knew it intellectually, but not emotionally. Even the credits will get you. Truthful Timmy gets a shout out, as well as Ryan's daughter Betty as the Hugh Wrangler.
I'm tired of these absolutely vile rumors that I got Johnny killed.
I like that of all the things Wade chose to do with full access to the TVA, he had to clear his name.
Go on, Johnny.
Even in Ryan's exoneration, he's clearly baiting the Human Torch.
In fact, I don't give a shit if she removes all my skin and pops me like some nightmarish blood balloon. Wow. And you can quote me.
Also, Chris Evans said he'd only do the movie if Ryan promised to keep this in. Never change, Lloyd. And I really get it. After making a name for yourself as the clean-cut language guy, I can relate. Like, I can really relate. I'm gonna curse, I think. I might curse. Heckin' crud. Gosh darn son of a biscuit. Frick. That felt good. It felt right. All right, random wins I missed or that didn't hit me as hard on my first draft that really stood out to me after watching the entire movie again with Julia after part 1 was done. In this scene, when Logan rips Wade a new Mickey Mouse hole, he recalls much of what Wade had said in the diner, even using the information against Wade.
Vanessa, when we met, she was a dancer.
You couldn't even save a relationship with a goddamn stripper.
Nice pool backing up into the corn here. I love that we get Wade's killer slow-mo mag load moment only for Logan to immediately cut the barrels off both pistols. Also, jokes about the fight scene in the Honda actually being a love scene aside, I think Logan sorta needed it. He beckons Wade back in, and even though his movie foes often match his power, he rarely gets to fight someone he can really let loose on with no need to worry about them dying. Also, I've watched this desert fight 30 more times, and the editing here, the choice to cut the music during Wade's sword draw and then to specifically not bring it back until after we've had a few adamantium clangs, it's so dang good. But the thing I skipped over was Logan retracting his claws strategically. He's trapped for a second between Wade's swords and then realizes, oh wait, retracts them and then pops them out again to stab Wade. So epic, so gorgeous. And then of course I couldn't forget the stuff you all commented. The number one is that these dodges match Peter Parker's choreography perfectly. Wade's playful and genuine speech to Logan before he tears him apart is equally powerful but obviously gets overshadowed. The two recurring jokes, Thor I mentioned, but it's true that ignoring Baby Knife was a bit of a travesty.
Baby Knife! Ah! Baby Knife! Baby Knife. This is Baby Knife. She's gonna f you in the face now.
The Greatest Showman song playing for half a second when Logan slams Wade's head into the radio was a perfect blink your ears and miss it nod. Also, you all guessed that the second spike for Gubernatorial was the Disney Plus release, which is a good guess, but I was joking about the election falling on those dates since Gubernatorial is about governors. Also, a reply from Techie Dad to the Nice Pool comment I mentioned earlier is a theory I'm 100% on board with, and that's that Nice Pool has no healing factor because he's not his universe's Deadpool. That's Dogpool. Love that, and it's clearly correct. And one thing from the commentary that became a favorite for me was Ryan pointing out Hugh's slight twinge of regret after he shreds Wade. Did I go a little too far? Nah, I think it was perfect. Also, just in general, how much respect Sean and Ryan have for Hugh. Judging Deadpool and Wolverine as a standalone film is tricky, because even if this is still Deadpool's third, if it's Logan's first movie, yeah, it don't make no sense, and who cares? Just hearing about the X-Men Logan failed doesn't work as well if you're not picturing James Marsden, Famke Janssen, Halle Berry, and probably Kelsey Grammer, I think. But like I said, that's what this movie is. It's supposed to be both a changing of the guard and a send-off to the Marvel Fox universe. I actually can't believe how much of a fantastic send-off it ended up being for me. And sure, most of the characters weren't here, but the guy who started it all is, and those who were forgotten got proper endings. Or maybe a new beginning, question mark? We can hope. Honestly, of all the predictions I've ever made that I feel pretty confident in, like Iron Man dying, Cap using Mjolnir, Wade like a praying Mickey Mouse, we'll see Tatum as Gambit again. Sort of said this 100 different ways at this point, but the biggest strength of this movie is that they make fun of everything while still honoring it and making it cool. Human Torch falls on his nuts like a Looney Tunes character, but we're all only gonna remember his epic monologue. Wade's joke about everyone only remembering his dismount is a perfect punchline for the moment, but come on. And actually, Logan's shirt exploding is this theory in a nutshell. We're not gonna go this entire movie without seeing the goods, right? But it's during a self-sacrifice moment with Like a Prayer bringing you to tears. And along the same lines, I honestly wouldn't worry too much about anchor beings ever coming up again. You see, we have these things called plot devices, and one of those, that is. I think this is a movie made for fans by fans. When you listen to Ryan and Sean talk about the process, they're just geeks trying to make cool stuff that they would have wanted to watch. Ryan has been planning this oneer for like a decade and even had Like a Prayer written in his notebook. I know it doesn't work for everyone. There are actually a lot of people who really hated this movie. I have Reddit.com. And that's okay. I hope, strictly for them, that somewhere deep down they still get a thrill out of some moments here and there. The cowl going on, the legacy heroes strutting in like kings and queens, or maybe even the true outcome of the desecration of the sacred corpse. You can't bring the Logan back after this. That is carved in stone now. And if nothing else, maybe a laugh or two.
Not my favorite, Chris. What's the wind resistance on those blowjob handles? Sorry. Just a catty bitch when I'm jealous. The answer is yes. Shake on it. You nicked it. Just got the tip with your little steak knife.
Or smile at some of the awesomely choreographed fights. This movie feels like an ending, and I think it is in many ways. It will be hard to convince Ryan to come back for a solo movie without a really compelling script because he already feels like this arc is played out. Will he show up in every MCU movie for the rest of forever? Probably. So an ending for some things, but don't be surprised if Logan and even the other OG Fox X-Men show up in future Avengers movies. If this movie proved anything to Disney, it's that Fox was a profitable acquisition, and I wouldn't expect them to just retire a bunch of bags of money for no reason. Granted, I don't expect to see Electra Nachios anytime soon unless I do finally make it to an Angel City FC game. But look, you know I have 2 young kids. Do I travel to exotic voids? Constantly not. Though next year we are planning a family trip overseas. But in the meantime, I live vicariously through my many traveling friends. 2 of whom were just in Japan and realized they could not navigate the subway system without GPS and had no way to get online. Enter Saley, an incredible eSIM service app from Nord Security. It's like having a local SIM card so you can get an internet connection wherever you're headed, including over 160 countries and 8 regions. And you'll save money on roaming fees because Saley has a bunch of plans with tons of data options to choose from. And the best part is that it's crazy easy to set up. You just download the app, choose your plan, and install the eSIM, which is just a tap on your screen. No physical SIM card needed. Done. You've got mail or internet access. Works with Android and iOS. I've heard enough horror stories from friends that I'll never risk traveling without an eSIM, especially because you can even use it as a hotspot, which works great with keeping kids from chewing the furniture. So click the link on screen or in the description and you'll get an exclusive 15% discount on Saley eSIM data plans. Download the Saley app and use code CinemaWins at checkout. You won't have to scramble around trying to find an internet cafe or phone carrier to get a physical SIM. You'll be all set the moment you land at your destination. Not like this poor guy. Still trying even though he doesn't have the Saley app installed yet. Next time, install the Saley app, use code CinemaWins at checkout, and never miss a beat. Thanks.
A big Spider-Man. Can I watch it?
No, you were right. It's too scary. It's not Spider-Man.
What is it?
It's Deadpool. Why don't you eat your food?
I can't. I'm too much full.
Okay.